First up, Momentum Pictures has purchased Escape from Pretoria starring Daniel Radcliffe. From Variety, Radcliffe appears alongside Australian actor Daniel Webber from The Dirt. The pair play freedom fighters Tim Jenkin and Stephen Lee, who were jailed in 1978 for being involved in covert anti-apartheid operations. Based on a true story, the film follows Jenkin and Lee, joined by a fellow inmate, as they decide to escape from prison. After months of planning and in a race against time as the authorities strengthen the prison's security, they craft wooden keys for the numerous steel doors between them and freedom. The Momentum team previously released the film Jungle, which also starred Daniel Radcliffe. Next up, fresh off his Oscar win for playing Freddie Mercury in Bohemian Rhapsody, Rami Malek has already put his newfound clout to use by signing on to play the villain in Cary Fukunaga's as-yet-untitled James Bond 25. Now, according to Screen Rant, the actor has joined Denzel Washington in the cast for Little Things. Written and directed by John Lee Hancock of The Blind Side, Little Things will star Washington as Deke, a brilliant but burnt-out Kern County deputy sheriff who joins forces with another detective to catch a serial killer. By the look of things, the project will mark one of the Oscar winner's next appearances on the big screen. Malek will play Baxter, a Los Angeles County Sheriff Department's detective who teams up with the older and more experienced Deke to track down and capture said mysterious murderer. Filming is to begin in September. Next up, it looks like yet another streaming service is on the horizon, this time via NBC Universal. From Deadline, at its glitzy upfront event at Radio City Music Hall in New York, ad boss Linda Yaccarino said that its most loved titles were coming home. Yaccarino went on to say, "Next year we're going to unveil the largest initiative in our company's history. We're going to have our own ad-supported platform. While other companies are pushing advertisers out, we're bringing them in. It will have a slate of originals and a gigantic library of all favorites. The shows that people love the most and stream the most are coming home at a price every person can afford. Free." NBCU CEO Steve Berkus said it would be a safe assumption that the company would try to reclaim titles like The Office once the service launches, with about 15,000 hours of programming derived from the wide array of broadcast, cable, film, news, and sports. Next up, Taika Waititi has had great success recently with Hunt for the Wilder People and Thor Ragnarok. Now, his latest film, Jojo Rabbit, has been given a fall release date. From The Wrap, Taika Waititi's next film, Jojo Rabbit, in which the director stars as an imaginary version of Adolf Hitler, will be released by Fox Searchlight on October 18, 2019. The film is described as an anti-hate satire and stars Roman Griffin Davis, Thomasin McKenzie, Scarlett Johansson, Sam Rockwell, Rebel Wilson, Stephen Merchant, and Alfie Allen from Game of Thrones and John Wick Chapter 1 fame. The film is based on the novel Caging Skies by Christine Lunens. Set during World War II, the story follows a lonely German boy, played by Griffin Davis, whose worldview is turned upside down when he discovers that his single mother, played by Johansson, is hiding a young girl, played by Mackenzie, in their attic. Aided only by his idiotic imaginary friend Adolf Hitler, Jojo must confront his naive patriotism. Waititi's depiction of Hitler isn't meant as a sympathetic one. Rather, the character is a combination of Jojo's father and the Führer, and shows a boy who both misses his dad and is confused by Nazi propaganda around him. Next up, following the surprise hit of the faith-based music drama I Can Only Imagine, Lionsgate is working on a follow-up entitled I Still Believe. From ComingSoon.net, after already landing two strong leads in Gary Sinise of Criminal Minds Beyond Borders and KJ Apa of Riverdale, the cast has expanded once again to include country star Shania Twain and Tomorrowland's Britt Robertson. Apa and Sinise will play true-life father and son Jeremy and Tom Camp. Jeremy is a Grammy-nominated singer and songwriter with more than 5 million albums sold. The film will reportedly deal with his journey of love and loss. Twain has signed on to portray Terry Camp, mother to Jeremy, while Robertson is set to star as Melissa Henning, who starts as Jeremy's love interest and eventually his wife. The group will begin shooting the film this spring for a planned March 20, 2020 release. And finally, Sunday marked a very special anniversary for fans of the Terminator franchise. It was 35 years ago that the first Terminator film was released. 35 years later, the sixth film in the franchise is in post-production, getting ready for release this fall. Director Tim Miller celebrated the anniversary by letting fans know that the first trailer for Terminator Dark Fate is on the way, and showing us a single shot from the trailer seen here. In the original Terminator, Sarah Connor was a woman in over her head and on the run for her life. However, knowing that she needed to be able to protect herself, she became a fighter and had transformed by the time we saw her in Judgment Day. It seems the plan for Terminator Dark Fate is to pull the same move as the recent Halloween sequel, by ignoring all sequels that came after T2 and picking up the story from there. Terminator Dark Fate is set for release November 1st. And that will do it for today's installment of the Movie News Feed.